What's going on, everybody? Another episode of the Real Estate Blueprint podcast. I got my special co-host, Jon Soto, on the line. Soto, what's up, man?
How's it going, man? How's it going, man? All is well.
I hope you're cool with Soto.
I'm good with Soto, man. You know me. I'm not picky.
I got that from Larry. So Larry's our attorney. So he calls you Soto. So I'm rocking with it. So today's episode, which is interesting for 2022 as we continue our plan to purchase more properties. And this episode is interesting, at least on my end, which I'm getting ready to tap into Jon's experience on what he's going through on his end. But this year is interesting because as we scale, we a fundamental theme for me at least is scaling, but then kind of forgetting, the foundation of what you have in place as you scale. And as you scale, you'll realize that, the more you need to have your systems in place, the more that you really need to really run it like a business. And I'm learning that just with some of the challenges on my end, whether it's tenants or getting the out-of-state property renovated and getting, things like that. So this episode, landlord do's and don'ts, how to manage your properties efficiently, how to manage your tenants efficiently, how to manage your contractors, all of that. Let's dive into this. Jon, to even start, why did you even decide to become a landlord, like, to begin with? I know why I got in the business, like the whole passive income, they sold us the dream. But what was your reasoning?
So my reasoning was I was always interested in my money, making more money. As a younger kid or as in teenage years, I used to buy sneakers and flip it here, try to go into the stock market with the option trading, buy and sell, quick flips here and there. But I wanted something more concrete, something I can really, a tangible asset. Basically, I can touch, it's real, real estate. And that all roads led to real estate. So, of course, I'm sure like a lot of people, they stumbled upon bigger pockets and rich dad, poor dad. Who hasn't? Well, that's something we don't really discuss anymore, but bigger pockets. So once I got into the bigger pockets, that's something that opened my eyes. A lot of people will share information on real estate, why so many benefits in real estate. Of course, people was trying to talk in my ear regarding to avoid real estate because of the landlord side of it. But of course, thankfully, I was able to ignore those naysayers and get focused, laser focused, and purchase my first property. How about yourself?
Okay.
Why real estate? Why not?
Well, I was of it. Yeah, I mean, I was an agent, so it was weird because I tell this story, which is kind of a new story, but I always knew that I wanted to get into that, like real estate investing, but the story that I like to now tell that has become a realization is my very, very, very first client. She bought a multifamily. It was the first deal that I closed. She purchased it for $250. By the time that the appraisal came in, it was worth $280. It was worth $280. She closed on the property, $30,000. That was the first time that I got introduced to equity, right? So I was like, oh, that's equity. Like if I would sell, I can sell it at $280, $30,000. Right. And I made like $6,000, like, or so that checked. Right. And then I realized, like, wow, this is crazy because she's not in real estate. She's not an agent. She didn't have to get her license. This was her first time. This was my first time. I have a little bit more knowledge, yet she made more money than me in theory. Right. So it's like, right. And plus they're living for free and things like that. So yeah, that's, I always knew, but then that was like and then and then the rest was history. So now where our portfolios are now, how many years do you have now?
17? Was it 3, 6, 9? 17-ish, I think. Yeah, 17, 18.
Yeah. So 17, we're at 13. I'm closing tomorrow on that 3 family.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be nice. So yeah, so 16. And now with a combine of 33 units, right? 33 units between the both of us. We've experienced the good, the amazing, the bad, the ugly, all of it, right? Um, let's start with
Start off with the bad.
like the
Let's start off with the bad.
let's I was about to let's start with the challenges. What were the challenges that you experienced as you were managing your portfolio?
So challenges is not knowing everything before I got in. So that's something that stops a lot of people. I'm more of a dive in, I'll learn as I go. Throw me, what is it? What's the saying? Throw me out of a parachute, I'll find my way. Or I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
whatever.
build
You know
a
what I
plane
mean?
on the way down.
Yeah. So that was number one. Mindset, definitely mindset was another one. Was a huge challenge because when you're first in real estate and try to put offers in, you're always going to get denied, especially in today's market. That denial was always in place many years ago. There's still competition here today, so I was getting a lot of offers rejected. And then when I was in the contract, some of those deals fell through. So just that mindset, just keep pushing on wherever it's going to work out. You're going to get your first offer, and try to remove that negative energy around you regarding, do you want to fix toilets? Do you want to do this? Do you want to call us at 2 a.m? Just just be careful who you surround yourself with, and how they impact your thinking. Because mindset with anything in business, with any business, mindset is number one. It can make or break you. It can help you take it to the next level. It can hold you back from growing. It can ruin relationships. It can ruin a lot of stuff. So that was definitely number one. Number one was mindset.
And then okay.
How about yourself?
So that's
What
the
was your
challenge of
what do you think your first challenge was?
I very easily my only challenge was just the fact that I wasn't bankable personally, individually when I first started, because I was on the 1099. So then, I had to have 2 years working history, so on and so forth. So that's why we put the first one in wifey's name. But that's why, yeah, that was my challenge, right? So like in challenges as far as like getting started acquiring the property, and then like there's the management piece, right? So like challenges wise, like on my like for me, I running the business like a business was it made sense. I understood. I just thought that was the accountant part. Have your stuff organized. Have I mean, that's all part of it, absolutely. But the part that's like run the business like a business, the human element where the emotion gets involved is where that is the biggest leech to your landlording business. Like being a people person in the landlording business will actually hurt you, not help you, right?
Yeah.
You still have to have the basic, customer service skills, things like that. But like that going above and beyond aspect, you have to be careful with, because what I've learned is that the tenants have, they'll treat you like, they treat you like your friends, right? So they get comfortable. And then when it comes time to really like enforce stuff, they think they can slide, right? So like a lot of my tenants have gotten, the rude awakening where like they see me now moving in a totally different limelight for that very reason. So like, tenant management, while it is people management, it's really, fair but firm. That's the best way I could put it.
No,
Fair but firm.
100% agree with that. When you try to treat your tenants too friendly, they're gonna take advantage of you, unfortunately. And if you let that one slide, they're gonna keep testing to see how much they can you will let slide. So it's always good from the beginning to be firm. Of course, fair but firm. If not, you will be unfortunately taken advantage in this business, because if people see any opening, they're gonna keep going for it and keep going for it and keep going for it, unfortunately.
The biggest challenges with any property, right, is repairs and tenants. That's it, right? Those are your two things. So at least like you're able to boil it down to, is it a property problem or is it a people problem, right? So and I learned this from Julian from the multifamily movement, but you know, the first asset is the property, right? When looking at like whatever challenges that are going on, like in your portfolio with a particular property. And the reality is, as you scale, eventually one of those properties are just going to be a dog, right? Like it's just the one that like constantly gets on your damn nerves, right? Where eventually either you're going to, you know, sell it off, or you're either going to enroll the funds into something else, or maybe, you know, whatever you choose to decide. But with any challenge, at any property, you're really looking at it from, okay, is this a house problem or is this a people problem? If, you know, because the other side of it is managing the repairs, the contractors, things like that, of whatever needs to be done. And I'm trying to like train my contractors, like, listen, I just want a very, very basic, simple, like basic system, which will like is the perfect segue into managing like and building systems, because obviously you're on the property management end and actually developing a business out of it, which I have as well. But you're probably on it, you know, I'm just managing all of mine and just one other property. You are obviously taking on a lot more. So I want to tap into your systems and things like that. But I'm just trying to, with this contractor, just set up the system where it's like, listen, like it's very simple. The request comes in, you get the call. I'll schedule with the tenant. You go, you take a picture of the before and after and send me the bill and an invoice. That's all that I need.
So you can even take a step further, give them the number of the tenant, let them schedule it.
I tried that, and for whatever reason, because trust me, like I would just like for whatever reason, like today, like or yesterday, the guy was supposed to go, right? And here's the biggest piece, because contractors, what I've come to learn with, you know, customer service is a totally different like space, right? So I check in, like, hey, was everything done? Because it was supposed to be done. Was everything done? No, it wasn't. We're like, well, why wasn't it done? Because the tenant told the worker that like today wasn't a good day, and that, you know, like next Friday or the weekend is better. And I was like, first off, no, that's not how this works. Like, that's not how this works. Like, this is my like operation. So if that happens, one, call me. Two, I'm coming in there. Like, it's going to get done, because one, the tenant's been notified already, right? And not only that, like, and this isn't the first instance, right? This is like, so I'm not just barging into the tenant's face. This is after like 6 attempts so far, and we're trying to blame it on the language barrier. Like, I don't even want to hear that. Not when I have Google Translate and I've never had an issue. So whatever the problem is, like there's some issue that's going on. I have no problem. I have no reason. I'm sorry. I have no understanding why, but like, this is what we're dealing with, right? And I'm like just trying to fix it. And we're just talking about paint. It's so ridiculous, but it is what it is. So trying to set up those systems and get those things in place for that very reason. So what are you doing? Because I have all the other systems, and mind you, like 90% is great. 90% it's great. It's just that the 10% that's not great is causing 90% of my headache, right? So Pareto principle to the T. What are you doing? Let's tap into how you're running things.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah, to manage your tenants, make sure that one, they pay on time, making sure that they honor everything that they're supposed to on the lease, making sure that they, you know, are keeping the property clean, not throwing trash everywhere, and all of that. What are you doing?
So number one, I have this online system. It used to be 𝐒𝐭𝐡𝐞𝐫, but now it's apartments.com. I basically have it automatically online. If it's not paid, I get a notification after for late payments or anything like that. So some of my tenants pay on the 1st, some of them pay on the 5th. So actually on my lease, some of my leases say if you pay after the 1st, you're late, because technically in Jersey, there isn't a 5-day grace period. So some of my newer tenants have that first period. So on apartments.com, the next day, if it's late, I get an automatic email notification like, hey, what's going on? It's late. So I reach out to the tenants. For expenses,
Apartments.com doesn't send a late notice to the tenant, do they? Do they send like
it should.
like
It
an email
should.
like, hey?
It should notify them regarding, hey, your payment is due, because every day on the 1st, the bill is due. So they should get an email confirming
I
saying
wonder if that's the case, only because I wonder if that can serve as your late notice, right? Because then my next question is, okay, tenants late, how do you serve your name? Okay, so I'm sorry, we'll keep going because you'll reach out to the tenant.
Reach out to the tenant like, hey, what's going on? Yada yada yada. Knock on wood, most of my tenants are pretty good. Like, hey, I forgot. Here it is. Let me send it over. Or they didn't get paid this week. Give them a few days. Whatever the case is. This is where being friendly comes in. Sometimes I'm like, hey, you paid on time for the past like 12 months, 1 month, whatever. I'll give you 2 more days. You shouldn't do that. You've got to be firm with them. Like, hey, according to the lease,
that was my mistake. That was my mistake. Like, oh, 2 years,
$50 late fee. You got to run like a business. If they were living in a big building or whatever the case is, they're going to pay the late fee. Why are they not going to pay your late fee? They're in a legally contract with you with the lease, and the lease states that which they signed, and you have, of course, keep those records, save all those documentations, which they signed saying that after this day, they have a late payment. That's something that I enforce in some of my tenants, not all. So I got to be more firm on that end. When it comes to expenses, you want to make sure you keep track of that, because $10 here, $200 here, there, you're not going to remember the end of the year for tax season. So that's huge, huge, huge. Of course, you want to also see what you're spending the property that's doing the most damage, what's going on with that property. Like you mentioned, 80-20, some properties or some apartments may need more love. Is it a tenant, or is it the actual property from old age? So that's also something to keep in mind. What else? Just have people always on standby for repairs. If it's like a plumbing issue, have multiple.
I was gonna say, how do you manage your, so repair request comes in, right? Like,
I usually have the tenant send me a picture. Like, hey, what's going on? Send me a picture. So that's like the before picture kind of. And then I'll figure out like, hey, do I have time today? Is it a quick fix? Am I in the area? Most of the times, no. So I'll send one of my guys that's pretty reliable, like, hey, check it out. What's going on? Is it a quick fix? Go take care of it. And then, of course, I get the receipts, the bill. You definitely want to ask for a price before they do the repairs, because you know how
sometimes they're quick. So they're like you'll get you'll send the text.
That happens to me sometimes.
Right.
I'm like, yo, you charging me $300 for this BS? Get the fuck out. So I always bring them down a little bit.
And it's like, check this spot out. Check this spot out. Like, just do that. Right. They come back like, yo, all right, I fixed it. Like, what do you mean you fixed it? Like, yeah, I fixed it. It's like, well, thank you, but like, yeah, so 500, like what? Don't do that. That is don't do that. Which I've experienced. Luckily, that's we're in that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was gonna say that's just behind that, luckily I'm not going through that anymore, but that has happened in the past.
Yeah. Setting expectations, number one, with the tenants. So when you sign that lease, make sure they understand what's going on with that. Like, hey, look, late hours, try to the garbage, make sure they know the garbage. Make sure they know that after a certain day, there's late payments. So make sure they understand that lease. Make sure you have a good lease before that, because without a good lease, it's tough to evict anyone or do anything. So make sure you have a good lease. I think my lease, I forgot where I got it. I think it was Bigger Pockets. It was like an attorney created for like each state. So I was able, since I'm like a pro member, I was able to pull that. And there's a lot of other documents when it comes into place, for like pets and other stuff and you could charge extra fees. I never normally have pets, but last year I added one tenant with a pet. I was charging application fee for the pet, extra monthly payments for the pet. So it was a lot of extra that people that are pet lovers, dog lovers, they will pay that because they're pet. That tenant is no longer there for other reasons. They didn't stay that long. It was a mutual agreement. Well, they lost their security deposit and some other stuff. So it was yeah. And they were nagging tenants. So I'm like, you know what? Let's split ways. You lose your security deposit and keep it going. Because I was getting sometimes daily, sometimes weekly texts and calls. I'm like, no. This can't be it. So
are any of your tenants still paying cash?
No. Well, only my Section 8 tenant, which pays a partial of the payment, which is like $30. So I don't run to get it. When I'm in the area, I'll get it, but everybody else pays Cash App, Zelle, or apartments.com.
Okay, I was gonna ask. So and apartments.com, I believe they charge if the tenant uses their credit card or they use
they
their
charge
credit
the tenant because the tenant can use a credit card, but it takes
not credit card, I'm sorry, but that or checking.
Yeah, it takes a
or
couple
their
of
debit
days
card.
to your account. So that's why I tell tenants to do it the day before or the first because it takes. I'll get it by the 5th.
Okay, and just with the management of now, like, because you have your properties and you have other people's portfolio that you're managing, like just on the property managing, like on the business shit. I might have you manage mine, but the and you're pretty much running the same thing. Are you doing anything differently for them, or are you literally just duplicating the same systems that you did under yours and then just managing theirs?
Yeah, just duplicating what I have on mine for theirs. I have a separate expense sheet. So on apartments.com, you can add bills. So I just add bills on those specifically. And at the end of the month, I take it from the rent, basically. When it's I since they have contractors and other stuff, so I allow them like, hey, look, this is the issue. You want to use your guys, you're gonna want to use my guys. Usually they're not quick to get scheduling from their guys, so I usually just use my guys and I'll pay them out and then I'll get the money back.
Yeah, I know on the property management end, like because it's the great debate, right? Manage it yourself or hire a company. You obviously are doing a hybrid model of it. For the people listening, like the truly passive way is definitely if you would hire a property manager, and then you have like you have your one go-to guy or girl that can at that point be your point person for everything, bring you the bag, show handle the finances, so on and so forth. So you can do that. Obviously, there's a cost for that. So that's why, at least personally, why I'm choosing to manage myself currently. But I just realized that at the same time, it's a whole different, it's a whole nother set of skills that I'm in the process of currently and will forever be developing, right? Just off of the tenant management end. But it is a breath of fresh air because now I get to now have all my tenants on the lease. Well, not to say that they were honoring the lease, but now I don't feel bad for, hey, this tenant's been paying on time, never missed a payment, for 2 years straight, never an issue. This is the first time, really late. Hey, here's your late payment. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, do that, pay. And she paid it, right? So now my concern is all right, how she's going to pay that and catch up, considering the fact that now we're recording this and this the second, she pretty much is going to have this month's rent, the next 3 days. Or she's going to get slapped on that, with that late fee again. So fair but firm is now how I'm literally, handling everything, because there are more units on the way. And the next part, the property I'm closing on tomorrow is going to be my first all Section 8 property. I'm gonna test the routes with that. I'm gonna do all Section 8 on that particular property, just to see. I'm gonna start off two of the units, 2 out of the 3 units. I'm going to start with Section 8, and then I'm going to do Airbnb. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do full Section 8. I'm going to see how Airbnb works, and then we'll see what happens, which is perfect because how many Airbnb and you obviously have, not obviously, but for the people that don't know, you have Airbnb units under your watch as well, and you've added that to the portfolio. How many Airbnb units are you doing it, and how are you managing that?
7 listings. So basically, when it comes down to
7 units are Airbnb.
So I'm gonna break it down for you. It's 3 apartments with 7 listings because I do 2 apartments by rooms. So 3 bedrooms,
Okay.
3 bedrooms, and 1 full 3-bedroom. So it's 3 bedrooms apartments. Airbnb allows you to rent by room.
Right, and then you have the shared common space,
mhm.
and people are devouring that. You see,
Yeah. So you get a lot of mix. So you get people. I get people from college. I got college students now that have been there for probably like 6 months, and then you're extending for like 4 more months. Well, 3 months, and then extending for 4 more months. I get nurses that coming for a month or 2 months because I'm close by the hospital. I get couples that coming for a month and are comfortable with it. They probably, if they go to other countries, they're used to it, possibly. I guess sometimes I get locals that are looking for an apartment, so they need somewhere to stay temporarily. So it's a mix of different things. So you'll be surprised how many people need rooms temporarily.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my stab at it. I'm gonna take my stab at it, take my crack at it. We'll see what happens, and I'm excited for it.
Upfront cost.
That was the first
upfront cost. There's an upfront cost. You gotta get all the furniture and stuff. So anything you'll need in day life, like pots, microwave, and other stuff. For my first Airbnb, I was actually moving out of that unit. I fixed it up and I moved out to my single family. So I left a lot of the stuff that I didn't need anymore. I was buying new stuff, the microwave, certain utensils, plates, cups, I think an old Keurig or other stuff. Like, remember, coffee, people need coffee. So yeah. So for turnarounds, turnarounds are not as often because I get 30 days plus.
okay.
Yeah, so it's not like people staying for 3 days and leaving and then I got to go back. For the most part, I go out and do it myself. So I charge, I think it was $80 for like a 1-bedroom cleaning fee. Takes me, do it. I'm in the area, I do it on my way, and then I just keep going about it. So if it's really, really dirty,
so you do the cleaning.
It's not cleaning per se, but yeah, if not, I'll have the missus with me. But if I need like a deep clean for the whole house, I have a clean lady that does it. As we speak, she's probably there at an Airbnb now doing the common areas, the kitchen and the bathroom.
Check that operation out. Okay, and you're so obviously there's a reason why you chose Airbnb. Like, is it considerably just more profitable than just having like a regular tenant in there?
You do it, yeah, definitely. How much I made last year? I think I made for half. I don't recall now. It wasn't half the year. It was less than half the year. But the summer was definitely hot. January was a little slow. Still better than regular tenants. I think I got, how much did I get? I think I got 10K for January, February, and 1 unit was only for 1 month. So, and then 1 room was vacant for some time as well. So I could have gotten more.
Interesting. 10K just for January, February, like alone. Wow. All right. So that's amazing.
And then 1 unit was vacant, and the other unit was only rented for 1 month because I was finishing up the repairs.
And that's on the that's slow months, right? That's so January, February combined. That's considered slow month. 10K
that's
from
about 3K each. Well, a little bit more because it was slow and 1 month wasn't booked. Yeah.
From 2 months.
Yeah. Of course, keep
Yeah.
in
So
mind you're gonna pay for utilities. One. It's a shared
but
space.
still, I mean, 10 grand coming in,
Yeah.
10 grand coming in over
Yeah.
the course of 2 months. If you're telling me right here on this podcast
Yeah.
episode
I
that
can
January and February, over 2 months, over
pull it up
60
right now.
days, over 10 days, I'm sorry, over 60 days, $10,000, and you're telling me that like you were, yeah, but you got to pay the utilities. The utilities, I don't care about the utilities. The utilities, nothing when you make like 5 bands, like, what's my utilities? There's nothing.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. And I'll have to definitely take that into consideration. Because I was debating whether I should do an all Section A or not. But I think for now I may start off with Airbnb. So this will be interesting to test out. And is that so as we start our descent, like, is that what's what's next for you in my in your portfolio? Like I'm just scaling from here. Like, we're wifey and I are just gearing up. We're gonna get this one settled, get this Cleveland property settled. We're gearing up. We're under contract on something else. We're holding that to ourselves right now. We don't want to jinx anything, make sure things go smooth. But we're under contract on something very, very, very special. God knows how special this one is to us. So we'll see what happens. And the beauty of it is, we're just scaling. Like, I think after these, and assuming this 4-unit that we'll close on, after that, I think I'm okay where my portfolio is on the smaller end. And from there, I think my attention is going to be maximizing and squeezing out everything efficiency wise out of those properties, make sure everything is running as sharp as it possibly can. And then from there, I'm probably gonna, just step foot into like, the 6 and 8 and I'm I don't know what that number is going to be. But that's gonna be I'm no longer gonna probably go after the 2s or 3 unless like it's just a screaming deal. But I'm not gonna be searching for those. Like I'm, the 10s, 20s. Like let's start going into there, because that's what's gonna really, really, really excite me. So in that particular case, what's next for you? More Airbnb? Well, it seems like it. I don't see why you would stop at this
I
point.
definitely want to do more Airbnb. I want to go to other areas. I've been looking at Florida. I know my cousin does it down there, so that's one. I'm
You
actually
just got licensed down there as a mortgage
yeah,
officer.
man. Yeah, man. Yep. Other
You got
states.
family down there? Like, or will you
Soon.
say you
The
have
missus got
family
a lot
down
of
there? Like a lot of
family.
family down
The
there?
missus got
Okay.
a lot of family down there. I know a few people down there. I'm actually going to Cleveland next month. Anthony, he's doing some good things out in Cleveland. He's doing some group homes and some other stuff, interesting stuff. So I'm gonna take a look at that market when I'm out there. I'm going with the family, but of course I'm gonna take a day, check out the areas, see what's going on over there.
Of
What else?
course.
What else? I just want to help more people and partner up. I want to partner up and buy bigger deals.
Yeah. Straight lace, man. There you have it. Because obviously at that point with those bigger deals, I mean, property management is already going to be put in place. Like I'm not the 10 units that you can have it. You can have it.
Yep,
Like I'm
yep.
just trying to maximize my profit on these current properties, because then I'm going to wind up outsourcing it, and I'm going to wind up giving it to a property manager, right? So like, because I just don't want to, as much as I just don't. I don't care to, and it doesn't like that part. While I'm saving the money now, it's cool, but like eventually, like I want to turn my focus to like, yo, Jonathan, Tennessee, like Memphis, they got the, you know what I mean, and spend the time researching, connecting, building with people, in that particular fashion, which is gonna, bring me a bigger return. And again, management is not we're not working on managing the properties right now. Probably when we're done, we won't need to probably do anything for the rest of the day. I probably need to check in, send a couple of texts, and that's it, right? Like
Yeah, a
it
lot of
doesn't
days.
take that much time.
Yeah,
Like
a
it,
lot of
it doesn't.
days it'd be weeks and weeks that certain properties don't need attention. Like specific
For
example, my
sure.
property in East Orange barely needs attention. The grass barely grows. The tenants take the trash out. Never have issues with tenants. Here and there, when it's an issue, it's an issue. But
Right.
like for instance, a boiler. I had to replace a boiler. It was last 2 years ago, I think it was. But for the most part, they pay one page on the first, the other page on the fifth. Knock on wood, man. I don't want to jinx it, but that's probably like the best, the least annoying of the tenants for property wise,
Right.
like issue wise.
Right.
Either there's small issues and they don't mind, or a small issue that they take care of, and those are good tenants. Either way, those are good tenants. So
110%. Yeah, no, I literally am just having one issue just with my one tenant that I knew so I'm kicking my own self in the ass a little bit because I knew
think
when
I
I got
know.
it.
No, I think I know.
Yeah, you know exactly what it is. It's my one just definition of landlord nightmare of a tenant. And the crazy part about it is that she's not even like a mean person. She's just broke. Like she's just broke. Like and so I'm waiting on like the state's money, so I can't do anything in the meantime. But like I'm already ready for
Is it the
like,
Newark? Is it the Newark thing? The Newark money, rent?
no, DCA. So the state community, the Division of Community Affairs, Consumer Affairs, sorry.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, the regular COVID relief package
Gotcha.
program.
That takes a while.
So
So just I got
yeah,
checked
so
there last
I'm going
year.
into March now. So I should get it hopefully any second now because it's going on like 4 to 5 months, which is extremely annoying. But like, it is what it is. So it's just part of the business, part of the grind. An excellent learning lesson because again, I knew she was going to be an issue, and I had my opportunity, and I didn't. She was paying, and then like just the regular BS that happened. But part of the learning lesson, more of a reason to make sure that you stay fair but firm, and at that point, it is what it is. But luckily, it's just that one tenant, out of these 13 units. So,
And then go ahead.
No, that was it.
Another thing you mentioned was next. I definitely want to go into more of that sharing space, that car sharing space too. So I want to integrate somehow that Airbnb and that car sharing space as well, like Turo and other stuff. Because I know,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so
So
develop a whole entire like concierge service.
Yeah, actually, I got a car for Turo, so I'm working on now. That
You're
recently,
repairing your car? They're repairing the car, or you're like in the process of like
the paperwork. I have it in the it's in the driveway. I'm just
okay.
working on some
Dope.
paperwork, some other stuff.
I love it.
That's in the process. So I'm firm believer of that sharing space. It's especially now in the summer, people travel. The Newark airport is getting a new terminal. What does that mean? More flights, more people. Those people need to stay in place temporarily. What's more convenient for them? Newark is blowing. They're doing a lot of that downtown area, the foods, Prudential Center, shows, all that good stuff. So I'm a firm believer that sharing space.
I love it. I might have to buy into it. I might have to buy into you and offer to buy into whatever you're doing, man. I love it. And yeah, man, that it's when you get one business going, it allows you the opportunity to open up the other ones and find and put the systems in place and so on and so forth. And that's what I'm really getting into this year, like definite CEO mode, more impactful hours, more content, more, stuff that really makes an impact. So we're excited for it, man. Let me know exactly how that goes because I'm definitely interested to see how that goes. because me and wifey's dream is to open up a speakeasy. So we'll see what happens. It'll
Let's do
yeah.
it. Let me open a laundromat in the front, speakeasy in the back, because wifey wants to do a laundromat.
That and the only competition would be the spot in the city, Morristown, New
Oh
Jersey,
yeah,
where they have that speakeasy, the laundromat.
Yeah. Funny thing is, the laundromats don't work. Ours would be different. You can actually do
I
laundry.
like where you're going with this, so we'll call it something else. Well, yeah. We want to call it Santin Riches, which is the name of our wine. Hey,
Nice.
we'll let you
Shout
know how
out.
this. We'll let you know how this first batch. We'll let you know how this first batch is. Just in case we got to go through some growing pains, but that second batch is gonna be lit for sure. So it's got to settle for a little bit, and then yeah, we're gonna crack it open. Let's see what we got.
I'm in for it, man.
We're here for it, man. So all good, all love. As always, reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Click those links in the bio just for more to get your journey started, whether it's on the lending end and you're looking for financing for your next property, whether you need to get set up on the search, whether you need the search for on-market properties, off-market properties. Click the link in our bios and let's get it popping.
Let's do it.
All good.